back with another video, y'all. Y'all blew up my DMs on my art page. Go check out my art page. I'm dropping some fire stuff too. Y'all blew up my DMs on IG. Y'all kept commenting on every single post about this. So now I'm reacting to it because of the title itself. So we've been through this ride for a long time, y'all. And yes, One Punch Man fans make up Feats for Saitama because in the comment section, I just be seeing, oh, Saitama billions, microseconds, trillions times faster than this. Like, no. So, even with Seth's video we reacted to, he broke down every single point that debunks anything that Master is about to say. But it is entertaining to see what he has to say, right? What the fuck? It is entertaining to see what Master has to say and why he feels that way, right? The whole thing about being a gag character and or parody doesn't make much sense, especially in Dragon Ball, because that's like the equivalent of me saying, oh yeah, Kid Goku is a gag character. He broke a panda. That's better than any feat that Saitama has even has, right? That's like me saying that. But we know that, no, Kid Goku can't beat Saitama, right? So we're about to see what Master has to say. We're about to bring up Feats because even with the Feats, it comes up really small.
Saitama vs. Goku, the eternal question that fans have been asking themselves ever since Saitama was basically introduced. We started to see this new baldy character come in with incredible feats, and so fans have been questioning for the past 5 years or so, would Saitama beat Goku? Arguments have been mixed from both sides, as power scalers use math and feats to try to figure out if Saitama is capable of beating Goku.
I mean, I say eventually he can, but to say that, yeah, he could one-shot him or right now he could beat him, no. None of his feats, even if you try to make an argument, none of his feats come up or stack up to Goku's, which is okay. It's fine. The answer is that he doesn't win right now.
After all we had really seen from Saitama was him jumping from the moon down to Earth, cracking the moon's crust, and parting the entire clouds of the planet with a serious punch.
That's not impressive. Not even me. I like both series. I love both series, but you gotta use this. I like using logic and facts. I don't care for opinions, right? I don't care for opinions. If your opinion is crazy and it's not a fact, I don't care about it. I could care less about people's opinions. I care about facts and facts only.
Meanwhile, early characters in Dragon Ball Z were already nuking planets, so it didn't seem like in terms of raw power, Saitama really had any chance to go up against Goku, but with the most recent chapters of One Punch Man, as we saw Saitama fight against God Garo in space, we saw Saitama's power grow exponentially to the point where only a sneeze of his blew off the entire crust of Jupiter.
I'm gonna correct Master right here. It didn't really blow off, it just showed half. It blew off the gases, not off, but it pushed it back, and then the gases came right back. So, yeah, no.
Which is 1,300 times the size of Earth. A single sneeze blowing up about 1,300 Earths. And this was due to his insane power scaling growth in his battle with God Garo. He reached a level that nobody had ever seen before. And for comparison, we saw that a single sneeze from Beerus also destroyed a planet. Does that mean that Saitama is on Beerus's level? Maybe so, maybe not. We still haven't truly seen Saitama's full power and capabilities, as he's never gone up against an opponent that actually poses a threat to him, God Garo being the closest. This is like the freedom
free-to-play multiplayer game where you can unlock, earn, and sell NFTs.
Thing to that we've ever gotten. And One Punch Man's artist, Yusuke Murata, was kind enough to give us a power scaling graph in the One Punch Man manga during this battle. And it...
You know what's crazy? After Seth debunked every single thing that this man is saying right here, it's just funny. But, you know, continue.
Showed us that if Saitama fought any opponent stronger than him or equal, Saitama has this absolutely absurd growth potential where his power continues to scale exponentially. So, like many fan animators, including myself, as we've created fan animations of Saitama vs. Goku, we see that Saitama pretty much starts off fighting Goku. Goku goes through his forms, getting a slight advantage each time, but as Saitama unlocks more of his power, it forces Goku to go through higher and higher levels of his forms. And I would say that this is extremely accurate. We're going to go through all of the proof.
I don't think it is. Right? Garo was about comparable and kept matching Saitama until Saitama just took off, right? So I don't think at any point Garo was even stronger than Saitama, right? I feel like he just, like he said, he kept matching Saitama's power or kept copying his power, right? Or for me, he was copying his techniques, not so much his power level, but I digress, right?
Facts and information to decide who is the victor and why, coming up right after this. Today's sponsor is Bloodline, Heroes of Lith.
No, I don't care about that.
Quite simply, Saitama is invincible. And even further, Goku would never do that. We have to take into account Goku's personality.
You got to take into account that Saitama won't get angry enough to keep growing like that. Something has to happen, right? So for me, he got that Gohan rage boost, but in character, Saitama probably wouldn't reach Goku at all. That's how I'm seeing it. But, you know.
And he always starts off slow, warming up before going into his highest level. He loves the thrill of slowly progressing fights, and thus he's going to play directly into Saitama's trap. He's going to slowly progress through forms, allowing Saitama to exceed him exponentially in power, forcing Goku to jump ahead once again by transforming to his next highest state, to which Saitama would simply outgrow that one again. Goku would eventually run out of forms, and Saitama's power would grow far beyond Goku. We've never seen him in the history of One Punch Man take a single point of damage. It was questionable in the battle with Garo, as we got panels of Saitama appearing to spit out blood, but as we saw in later chapters, he had taken 0 damage. God Garo, a character who could use all of the powers of the universe, including supernova power with his gamma ray burst attack, who also copied...
Was it really a gamma ray burst? Because it didn't really do much. Plus, it was on a planet. Now, if I feel like a gamma ray burst is way bigger than a supernova explosion, right? So, like, wouldn't it just take out the entire solar system? It didn't even do that. And he did that. He let it off on a planet. So it's like, well, it didn't really. The name didn't fit the move. But you know, it was cool though. It was really cool.
Saitama's serious mode still could not inflict a single point of damage on Saitama, even with his most powerful attacks. And this is important because if we were basing the battle of Goku vs. Saitama on his Season 1 power scaling, it would perhaps be a stalemate where Goku simply couldn't hurt Saitama and Saitama simply couldn't...
Ew, that's weird. He said it will be a stalemate from DBS Goku versus Season 1 Saitama. I mean, let's see, what did Saitama do in Season 1? He went against a bunch of weaklings, right? Not trying to take anything away from Saitama. He didn't really go against nobody that strong. And his feats was cracking the moon from just the force of his jump back to Earth and then splitting clouds. So he didn't really do much. Goku, up until, let's see, I say Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga easily one-taps him, right? Now with this season, I think this will be Season 3 in the anime. With Season 3, I say he stops, based off his feats alone, he stops at Busaga. Right? He has to show more. You got to show more impressive feats than Goku has ever done for you to be considered, oh yeah, he could probably beat Goku. Right? You got to show it. You can't just, oh, well, my opinion is that, hey, well, he could grow infinitely stronger than his opponent. I don't think that's the case at all. Right? Garo was, I wouldn't say on par, but the graph showed that he was close to Saitama, but wasn't really giving him damage like that. But he got a few hits on him, made him spit out blood, kind of, and that was pretty much it. Right? So,
hurt Goku. But with these recent chapters and the power scaling graph that Murata provided,
I feel like because that's in there, it could make an argument, but if you stack up feats with each other, it falls short. That's all I'm saying.
we can see that no matter who Saitama faces, no matter how omnipotent of a being it is, Saitama's power will grow so exponentially that eventually he will start to one-shot that person. So before we get into any of the other evidence, proof, and techniques, at its simplest form, eventually Saitama would outgrow Goku. But there's even more than that. We also saw that Saitama was able to learn time travel. In the rare scenario that it was somehow possible that Saitama could not beat Ultra Instinct Goku, he could travel back in time and just simply wipe out child Goku with ease. And you might be asking yourself, couldn't Goku just grab onto Saitama, instant transmission him out somewhere in space, and then transport back to Earth, leaving Saitama to...
This shows you that Master doesn't really know what he's talking about. Did you hear what he said, y'all? He said, oh yeah, Saitama could go back in time and just one-shot Kid Goku. That's not going to beat that version of Goku. You're just going to create a whole new timeline. That's how it works. Ouch. Another thing is that, you know, if we're going to talk about speed, I'm just going to throw this in there. That's a technique that we don't even know if he could keep using. Right? So, again, Goku is a lot faster than he is. So, if he's going to try to do that, he could he will catch him. So, I mean, I digress.
To die out in the...
Also, and I feel like just because Saitama mimics, you know, a technique, I feel like Goku could do the same thing because he's done it before. So, just another heads up.
Cold of space. Well, for one, Saitama doesn't need to breathe. As we saw from not only the moon of Earth, but also the moon of Jupiter, Saitama doesn't need air. He does not need to breathe, and we've seen Goku fight out in the atmosphere, Saiyans seemingly having a ability to fight in the atmosphere without much detriment to their overall stamina, but not in the cold of space. Saitama can just simply serious fart his way back to Earth. There was even an interview
Wait, hold on.
where Murata was asked what would have happened if Boros kicked Saitama into the moon, but there was no moon there. Would he have just...
Well, I mean, again, he farted his way from wherever he was at onto Garo's back. So context, right? So I don't think he could fart his way back from Jupiter's moon back to Earth. I don't think he could do that. He hasn't shown that he could.
flown out into space and simply died, to which Murata replied, oh, I bet he would have just serious farted his way back. And that's exactly what happened as Garo tried to leave Saitama out in the cold of space. He farted his way back to Earth, following Garo through his hyperspace gate. But even more than that, Saitama simply could have braced himself on any planet and just jumped back to Earth. Now, what about Goku's martial arts? We know that Saitama doesn't really have much martial arts technique as it is, Garo even mentioning that in their battle and slightly taking advantage of the fight for a brief moment by simply outmaneuvering Saitama. This would only give Goku a brief advantage as Saitama's power scaling is exponential and infinite. Eventually, Saitama would get too strong and fast that Goku's martial arts would become completely inconsequential. He would no longer be able to dodge or deflect Saitama's punches, and Saitama's punches would start just completely shattering Goku's guard. Even further than that, we've seen that Saitama can copy other people's techniques, potentially even being able to copy Ultra Instinct. He simply looked at Garo's ultimate martial arts, which wasn't even perfected with the power of God, and was able to copy it, giving him time travel. Saitama does not obey the laws of physics or reality. We've even seen him punch his way into another dimension. So if Goku is the Room of Spirit and Time, or Heaven, or Hell, or some other alternate Dragon Ball dimension, potentially Saitama could just punch his way into it and chase Goku down. Quite a scary thought. And let's not forget Saitama's durability. He was able to withstand the strongest explosion in the entire universe, and he also did not feel the effects of cosmic...
Really? Oh, man.
radiation around him. He is literally invincible, and meanwhile Goku has pretty low durability. Goku would start the fight in his base form and he would take one singular punch to the face from Saitama and it would completely wreck his world. And Goku would let him do it too, just to gauge his power. We've seen Goku say that before in the anime. Additionally, we know that Goku, if his guard is down, can take critical damage from just a low level attack. If he wasn't expecting Saitama to appear, Saitama simply could just punch through Goku's chest. Now what about Goku's ultimate technique, the Genki Dama? Well, Saitama's a good guy. The Genki Dama does more damage the more evil you are, and it doesn't matter how big that Genki Dama is, it's simply not going to hurt Saitama. He's invincible, and he's limitless. Goku has low durability and a limited amount of power. Even if Goku brought a bag of 1,000 Senzu beans and continually ate them during the fight, achieving new forms throughout, eventually he would run out of Senzu beans. Well, Saitama doesn't need Senzus, doesn't need stamina, and just continually forever grows stronger and stronger. And he doesn't even grow stronger at a Dragon Ball level scale. He grows exponentially stronger, which means that even if during this battle Goku achieved a new form beyond Ultra Instinct, it simply wouldn't match up with Saitama's growth potential. And I think that's the biggest argument in favor of Saitama. Up until the most recent chapters, we didn't really know that Saitama had this insane...
This hype has to stop, bro. He's one of the biggest contributors to this bullshit. But I guess, bro. Okay. I still disagree with what he's saying. Like the arguments that he's making, sure, but he's nitpicking when and where he wants to, like, do that at, right? Like, where he wants to pick an argument for Goku's durability, right? And I get that. That's cool. That's a smart move, but, like, no, I can't let this go. The biggest argument is that Saitama will grow continuously, and I get that, but so will Goku, right? I feel like because Saitama isn't strong enough at all, he caps off at the Buu Saga based off his feats, and his feats alone, it's like, all right, well, he hasn't fought a Goku level character, right? He hasn't. So it's like to say that, oh yeah, he's gonna keep growing until he's surpassed. Like, no, that's not how this shit works. How you just gonna ignore feats from one show and just be like, okay, yeah, let's just dump all the rules that apply to One Punch Man into Dragon Ball? No. The reason why I say this is because when I was watching this video about Alien X, right? I'm doing this through relevancy, right? When I was watching this video through Alien X, he said that there's certain aliens who aren't as strong as Alien X that are severely weaker, but if magic is involved, they could probably beat Alien X. And that's kind of crazy to think about because Alien X durability is Universal Plus, right? So to hurt him is insane, right? So just because it works in one verse doesn't mean it's going to work in the next verse. We've seen how gag powers work. We've seen how all of that works in Dragon Ball. It doesn't work that well because if you're strong enough, you could just negate it. Look at Arali. Are we going to say that Arali could one-shot Saitama? Yeah, we will say that, though. We would actually say Arali would one-shot Saitama, right? So it's like when you're strong enough, you have Hakai, you could get rid of him. It's not really an argument. For me personally, until Saitama does something that's crazy, he did punch into another dimension, but Goku could literally obliterate heaven and hell if he really wanted to. But because he has control over his powers, he doesn't do it. How many times he done shook an infinite void? nearly destroyed an infinite-sized universe. Those are things that you got to think about. That's all I got to say.
Growth potential, but now that we've seen the power scaling chart and his limitlessness, it's very clear that there's no way Goku could beat him. It may have been questionable before, it may have been a stalemate before, but with the most recent information, Saitama wins. And pretty easily. Now there's one more thing I want to mention, and that's the clash of two serious punches wiping out a void of space, and if we compare that to Goku clashing with Beerus and potentially destroying the entire universe, it doesn't really seem that equal yet. It might seem in this case that Goku's power in his highest form is multi-universal level, where Saitama definitely he can't even cross into other universes that we don't think. And I don't think there's any argument there that if Goku in his current state of Dragon Ball Super in the manga fights against Saitama, in the beginning he will be way stronger than Saitama. But including this growth potential, this limitless ability to grow stronger than your opponents and skyrocket.
I don't know about that. I gotta see him fight somebody of Goku's caliber before I start saying that, oh yeah, he could do that. I know I said that the last message I said I was gonna say that's gonna be my last, but I gotta see Saitama fight somebody on Goku's tier before I start saying, oh yeah. Now it's debatable. Now we got an argument. I gotta see it happen first. I'm not going off opinions. I'm going off facts. The fact is that Garo is not comparable to Goku by any means. Garo will get one-shotted easily by Goku. Right? And plus, Goku is a better martial artist than Garo. So it's like severely a better martial artist than Garo. So it's like you gotta fight somebody of that type of caliber, right? You gotta fight somebody so you can prove me right.
Rocket far beyond them, the only other situation that could really happen is mutually assured destruction. To sum it up, Saitama's invincible and he has infinite growth potential. Eventually Goku would just run out of stamina, Saitama would be way too stronger than him, and Goku would lose. Either that or they just clash and destroy the entire universe. I'm Master, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Looking forward to your angry comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Oh, he did this on purpose. Okay, bro. All right, you did it on purpose. We get it. Okay, your boy soon. I'm gonna drop another video soon. I don't know yet. Peace.